the joints. It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday the something, and we're here to do stuff. That's right. So hit that like button, share my videos. If this is your first time checking out the show, enjoy yourself. Relax, man. You know what I'm saying? Let the weight roll off your back, okay? This is a safe environment for any of those that are just, looking to see what goes on in conservative land. We won't hurt. We won't hurt you. We won't do things that the media say that we're going to do. We're peaceful people. And looks like I'm getting some stuff organized. There we go. Yeah, we're peaceful people. We're not about that stuff. So enjoy yourself. Feel free to chit chat and comment and stuff. Just don't get too rude and out of control. Because see, we got some folks that, when you get out of control and start trolling, then they jump on your back. They get you out of there. So we don't want that. Now, make sure you can hear me. Somebody said, I hear the bell. Yeah. Ding. That's right, man. I hear them Rocky bells. Boom, boom. Give me that trumpet. Yeah, give me that trumpet, man. So it's about that time to ring the bell. And before I do any of that, I got to get loose. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some teams in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Now, y'all, we got us a show tonight. I don't even know how I'm going to get through all of this stuff right here, man. So, yeah, this might be one of those nights where you want to buckle up and just prepare for me to go just a little bit over. Just a little bit over because, see, we got some heavy content we got to get through tonight. So I'm not going to be long the hour here. So I want to get to it. Welcome to the show, all the people who watch me consistently. Y'all here every night. You know what's going on. If you want to make sure you stay in touch with me, you can text MAGA to 330-974-4607. And, of course, check out the merch store. Look at these. Look at these. You can go in there and get all kind of stuff. So feel free to go ahead and shop to your heart's content. And then, of course, finally, don't forget that I have been doing a monthly fundraiser, and people have been choosing to help me out as much as they can. And I appreciate that like so much. You'll never know how much I appreciate that. And there's a link right below this video to do that if you would like. Now, guys, you already know what's going on. We got the Iowa caucus results that done came in, and folks are losing their mind. And the Democrats as a whole are losing their mind because they feel that, they're in trouble. Yeah, they see the writing on the wall. So let's go ahead and kind of see what's going on in their case.
The gloves are off. The jar has been opened.
Let's get right to it. The NBC News poll with the Des Moines Register. They have been doing this for decades. They have one of the best polls in the business. And what do they find on the eve of these Republican caucuses? There it is. Donald Trump continuing to have an enormous lead over the Republican field. Trump at 48%. Nikki Haley now in second place here at...
That's right. That's what she gets. She gets that whoopee cushion. That's what she gets. So she's at 20. Now, this was the night before, right? This was, okay. I'm just making sure. This was like during the, okay, they was just kind of, going through some of the preliminaries and stuff. We're going to go ahead and see. Because I want to tell a story through this, I like my show to flow. I like my show to flow smoothly. So this is the day of or the night before or the day of. I'm not sure. Let's see.
20% passing Ron DeSantis, who's at 16.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
That's what you get, Ronnie, with that Dr. Evil laugh. That awkward laugh. So let's see how this all turned out.
Put this Trump lead in some perspective here. First of all, the 48% that he's registering here, that is the highest share for a Republican candidate in a final Des Moines Register poll ever. That surpasses the record of 43% from George W. Bush on the eve of the 2000 caucuses.
What?
Bush won those caucuses. Also the margin, Trump 48, Haley 20. That's a 28-point margin. That is also the biggest margin in a final register poll, also breaking a record of George W. Bush of 23 points when he won the caucuses.
Well, kiss my grits. So you telling me after all of the mud they was throwing on Trump, he still came out squeaky clean? You got to be kidding me. Now, you know, there's a big fat bullfrog in all of the fake news' throats. You already know. Somebody said YouTube is playing games. What they doing, Mike? Talk to me, man. Yeah, tell on them. Tell on them. When YouTube starts playing games, tell on them, y'all. Yeah, don't be shy. Let me know what's happening. I can do what I can do. And call them and let them know. Yeah, somebody said kiss my grits. That's right. Yeah, you got to know something about Alice. So, yeah, it looks like Trump, in spite of all the mud they tried to throw on him, still came out with his tuxedo on, nice and silky clean. Let's continue.
In 2000. So that Trump lead, we haven't seen that before, but we've been seeing a lot in the polling this year.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Nobody else.
Look.
Nobody else.
The Don. There's the Don. Nobody else. You know, I got some respect. The only person in that whole race I even got some respect for was Vivek. You know, but nobody else could have even came close to Trump. So now it looks like the results are coming in as this guy is talking about what could happen. Well, we all now know what did happen.
Voters, are you extremely enthusiastic about your candidate? And again, you can see basically half of Trump's supporters say extremely enthusiastic. About a quarter of DeSantis' supporters. Here's the worrying note for Nikki Haley, fewer than 10%.
Fewer than 10%? I mean, who wanted to come out and vote for Nikki Haley? Not me. Now, I'm really excited about voting for Trump. We ain't even voting yet. I'm ready. I might just go ahead and pull up the man truck right outside. Start waiting. They'd be like, what are you here? You've been here for like a month and a half now. Yeah, I'm waiting to vote. Yeah, I have my food Ubered in. I got my own bathroom built into the back. Yeah, I'm going to be here. So look, stop asking. Stop asking. I want to be here to make sure my vote's counted and I'm be the first guy right when you open the doors, okay? I don't want to get stuck in a line like they did out there in Arizona. Who knows what shenanigans could happen? So let's continue.
Donald Trump pollster is reportedly telling Republican donors that former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has surged in Iowa.
Bullshit.
Boy, it sure is. And we're about to find out just how much bull caca it is. That's what we're about to find out.
Is your mind made up? You see a majority for all candidates now, but more core locked-in support for Trump than the other two.
My Lord, we're in much more trouble than I ever thought we were.
Yes, you are, creepy. You are in much more trouble than you thought you were. The whole Democrat Party is. And we're going to see this now that the results have come in for Iowa, and the media's reaction to it tells everything. How scared they are and what depths they're willing to stoop to dive to. They're willing to dive all the way down in the bottom of the toilet. They're willing to dive down in the bottom of the sewer. Yeah, one of those porta potties. They're willing to dive all down in there. No scuba gear, no breathing apparatus, straight raw dogging it. And doo-doo, that's how far they're willing to dive down in the muck and the mire to try to stop Trump and throw mud on his supporters. So, guys, unfortunately, this never Trumper has to come out and make a confession. It hurts him. It breaks his heart. Let's listen.
You had to bet $150,000 on who's going to win in November. Who'd you bet on?
I never dreamed that I would say this, but I would bet on Trump.
Oh!
I thought he was done.
I thought he was done. That's your mistake. There it is. Y'all aren't getting the hint. See, Trump has gained and become stronger because of this man's attitude right here. I thought he was done. Well, why would you think that? Why would you think that? Let's find out why he thinks Trump was done.
I thought it was over. You don't come back from an impeachment.
You don't come back from an impeachment.
You don't come back from January 6th. You don't come
You
back
don't come back from January 6th
from any of this.
from any of this.
But he's come back.
But he's come back. Now, why do you think he's come back? Never Trump man. See, he's never Trump man. See, the reason is because of all of that. When we see what you guys have done and what you guys have been doing since day one, yeah, he never had to come back from it because we all knew that everything y'all were throwing at him was complete garbage. See, if it has some validity to it, yeah, on an average, if these were real charges, of course nobody would come back from it. But because it's so obvious that these are all fake, trumped up charges, no pun intended, we won't buy it. So he never had to come back from it. He just had to be consistent and persistent. And that's exactly what he's been. That man has overcome all of this stuff. The only obstacles he have to overcome is not the voters. He ain't got to win our hearts. He already did that his first term. He's shown us that he's willing to fight for Americans, But he had to overcome all of the garbage this man is listing. All of that mess they was throwing in his path. He was like a bad behind running back. All kind of stuff in his path, and he stiff arming and all of that, hitting you with the head jerks, the old school playground moves, and break it back like that. Through all of the obstacles that the Democrats, the deep state, the fake news have thrown in his path. And so now this guy right here, he hates to admit it, y'all. Well, here's a tissue for his issue.
The guy's a survivor.
He's a survivor.
And his opponent is having so much trouble that I would, at this point, give the edge to Trump.
At this point, I'd give the edge to Trump. Did y'all see how sorrowful that man is? Sitting there with his head to the side. At this point, I'd give the edge to Trump. See, now, let's be honest. Those obstacles were no easy obstacles. See, I have to give kudos to Trump because, it's not over yet. And that's the funny thing about this. We'll see how many obstacles are being thrown in his way as we go through the rest of the show. But for Trump to even be where he is right now without just quitting and giving up is fascinating. It's fascinating. I appreciate you guys and all the support that you give me. And that is motivation for me to continue doing the show in spite of all of the obstacles that social media throws in the way. But it is nothing compared to the obstacles that Trump is facing and has faced and overcame. And I would like to think that just the love and the support of the people is enough to brave forward and carry on and all of that stuff. But, when you start looking at them coming after you, your finances, you start looking at them threatening you for prison, you start looking at all of the things that they're doing to him. It would have been an easier path for Trump to say, sorry, people, I know you guys are supporting me. I appreciate it. I love it. But I got to look out for me. It ain't worth it, man. I'm done. They're going after my family, my friends, my business. I'm going back to this, the Apprentice. I'm going back to that or something. See, so the real test of how much steel you got in your spine is based on how you persevere through all of the obstacles that are thrown in your path. And Trump has done that. So that's why I complain minimally when I'm dealing with this kind of stuff. See, I'm going, thanks, people. Y'all got my back. But if they start saying, the FBI's knocking on your door and this and that. See, those when the tests get real. See, that's when the tests get real. I just pray I'd have the strength to continue on like Trump because he's built for this. See, so now let's listen to the Black Homer Simpson because that is definitely a Homer Simpson head right there on that man. Y'all see that? I can show a full-blown drive-in flick on that forehead right there. That's right. Pull right in. Just put that projector right up on that forehead. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say about Biden and him losing the support of the black folks.
With polls showing some black voters turning away from President Biden, today he made a direct appeal at the church where a brutal act of racial violence took place 9 years ago. Gabe Gutierrez reports from South Carolina.
I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far to turn around. Wait, I've come too far to boogie down. Boogie Down Productions will always get paid. No, that's not the right. What did Hillary say? So y'all remember that pander moment up in that church? Let's see.
At Charleston's Mother Emanuel AME Church, President Biden today honored 9 black worshipers massacred in 2015 by a white supremacist.
This is a poison. Throughout our history, it's ripped this nation apart.
I still can't get over that. He's not even realizing it's the Democrats who's been the poison throughout the nation's history that's ripped our nation apart. And they're still doing it. As he gets in there and keeps reopening the wound. Keeps taking the Band-Aid of racism and just ripping it off. Yeah, the Band-Aid was covered, the wound was healing, and it started to callus over and everything, and the Democrats come right in and just re-injure the injury. That's what they've done. So now here he is. Somebody said, no more years. Thank you. That's what they should have been saying. So here he is talking about that's been a cancer in our country, ripping us to pieces and separating us and stuff, none like the Democrats. So let's continue.
There's no place in America.
The president forcefully trying to link racial violence to the nation's current divisions.
That's all right.
But his speech briefly interrupted by protesters calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Another sign of deep divisions among some Democrats. The president's visit comes as his support among black voters is slipping.
Ooh, now you a bad Democrat. You're a raggedy Democrat when you start losing the blacks. So now the Democrat is you losing the blacks. Oh man, what they gonna do? That's their bread and butter. That's their go-to. Yeah, that's their back pocket, man. They got all the brothers in the back pocket. So let's see why he's losing the blacks, y'all.
2020, he carried 92% of that group, but a recent NBC News poll shows just 61% would now choose him over a Republican.
Oh, wow. That's a big loss. A big loss. Whoa. I hope those numbers are accurate. I really hope that amount of black folks come out, not only vote against him, but are able to monitor how their vote impacted them and changed their life. See, I don't want them to backslide after voting, say, for Trump against Biden, and then right after Trump is finished, then they go right back to the Democrat Party. See, they got to come to the conclusion that the problem is the Democrat Party. It's not just the candidate. I mean, granted, Joe is the worst of all times. He will go down as the most corrupt, evil, senile, dang on president of all times. However, if you replace Joe with any other Democrat, you'll get the same results because they are party first. They are globalist first. They are, let's install somebody that is okay with all of our globalist, liberal, progressive agendas and policies. That's it, man. So you'll end up running it back. You'll run your problems back if you vote for another Democrat. There it is. I'm rhyming all over the place. That's what would happen. So I hope when they vote, they're going to sit back and say, wow, I mean, Trump's policies made a difference in my life. If they'd have did this the first time, instead of being blinded by what we're about to hear come out of these Democrats and the media, if they would have blocked all of this, sausage that they was trying to stuff in their ears, they would have been able to see that Trump's policies helped everybody. So let's see here, because 61%, that's an all-time low.
Do you think that the Biden administration is taking the black vote for granted?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, his staff is. Fletcher Smith worked with the Biden campaign in 2020. Now he says he's very concerned about black voters staying home this November.
What?
That administration looks like they don't want the black vote.
No, they don't.
I mean, you got to speak to the black people.
Maurice Washington.
They don't want that black vote, man, especially when they are shuffling illegal immigrants into their neighborhoods. Taking their resources to give to the illegal immigrants. And don't forget, y'all, they ain't never came through with those reparations they was out there promising. Reparations for everybody. Oh, wait, no, we're just going to put together a committee to look into the possibility of reparations. Free schooling for everybody, all of that. See, whole bunch of stuff that they promise every 4 years that comes along. Go straight to the minority community and do two things. One, you're a victim. Number two, we're going to give you stuff. There you go. And then after 4 years, they never reassess and say, did we get our stuff yet? Did we get our stuff, huh, Paul? No Christmas is coming. None. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye Christmas for minorities. Here we go.
Washington is a conservative who thinks the president focusing on threats to democracy won't work.
No, that won't work because we ain't going for that. No. All of that mess. Threat to democracy, Mike National, right, MAGA, ultra MAGA, all of that mess.
It has nothing to do with bringing the country together.
We spoke with a group of voters who want the president to do more on student debt relief and police reform.
I just feel like it's been a lot of broken promises.
I think the main issue for me right now is feeling like I am a priority for the people that are in charge.
It's clear, based on what the people are asking for, that he's not here to serve us.
The Biden campaign insists the president has taken action on those issues.
What?
The question now, Lester, will voters give him credit for it?
Heck no. No, ain't nobody giving him credit for that, Homer Simpson. What are you talking about? He addressed it. See, and that's the problem. Anybody with common sense would start to pick up on the strategy of the Democrats. Remember my show last night, y'all? Where I mentioned they will tell you things that you can obviously see and gauge based on your reality, and then will tell you to your face, that's not happening. I addressed it. But I'm still struck the pump and my money in the inflation. I said I addressed it. The economy's great. Trust me. Maybe. Did he address it? That's what they want. They want people to start going, wait a minute, maybe, is it just me? Because they keep coming out saying stuff that I'm looking at and saying, that's the opposite of what you just said. You just told me that border was secure. And I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people coming our way. I see fentanyl increasing. I see all of this stuff happening. And you're telling me the border's secure. It's not an invasion. It's not a crisis. You keep telling us that. Feeding us shite. There you go. All of that. You keep telling us all of these things, but we're not seeing it in our everyday life. But that's what the Democrats do. They've been doing it for a long time and pulling it off. Hopefully, folks are waking up to their shenanigans. So now, guys, Dems are back in the black church. So we saw crooked Hillary go up in there. Yeah, man. I don't feel no ways are tired. I've come too far from where I started from, but nobody told me that the road would be easy. All of that. Then we saw Joe Biden try to run it back. I don't feel, no, wait, I don't feel, actually, I do feel pretty tired. Yeah, and I haven't traveled too far because I can't barely walk. Wait, is that a part of the speech? We saw Joe Biden run it back. Then we saw Fat Fanny go up in there and preach the book of Fat Fanny. Try to preach her and her boyfriend out of church. Now, normally Democrats stay away from church. Normally, you see them, they don't want to talk about God. They don't want to bring God into a conversation when it comes down to politics and stuff like that. But for some reason, since it's voting season and they feel they're losing blacks, it's like, let's go into the black church and appeal to them, garner some support from them. But something happened recently, y'all, which is an anomaly. Because normally the black church would tolerate bringing in a Democrat, but they done broke the mold. For some reason, they have brought in a rhino. So they went from the rats to the rhinos. Look at this cameo appearance of Liz Cheney in a black church. So they got rats in the black church, and now they got rhinos in the black church. Here we go. Listen to this message.
My friends, as we meet this afternoon, a great lie is doing its work, poisoning the bloodstream of our democracy.
Well, you know what? That right there is a dog whistle. That right there, when you talk about poison in the bloodstream of anything, we can interpret that as, watering down, the whites, mixing them in with the mulattoes and, the Latinas and all of that. So now here she is talking about some poison in the bloodstream of our democracy. Now, why is she up in that black church? You know she is a full-blown sellout rhino, because prior to Trump and prior to her selling her soul and going out and fighting against Trump, do you think a black church would have invited her, the daughter of Dick Cheney, the most despised man, you think they would have invited her raggedy tail into that church? So you already know. They are using her as a pawn to try to say, look, y'all can accept her now and embrace her because we have a common enemy. Look, she's on our side now. She's fighting against this evil, wicked, white nationalist Donald Trump. And so now they bring these people into their churches, not to preach sermons and talk about God, but instead to mix that in with politics and try to manipulate the folks based on their religion. I'm going to try to manipulate them. So now let's finish hearing her try to manipulate all these church folks.
A former president refuses to acknowledge that he lost, and he has convinced millions that our elections and our democracy no longer work.
What book in the Bible is that? I'm looking for that. Since when do you get up there in church and start calling out individuals to preach? You're preaching against Trump? I mean, if a pastor went out there and today I'm going to be talking about Sister Janet. Sister Janet sitting over there in the back has been shacking up for about 6 months with her boyfriend. Now, we all know shacking is wrong. We know shacking is wrong. Yeah, we don't want to be shacking in the back. Okay, all right, we don't want to do that. Don't shack, don't do that. You don't do that. I mean, you might talk about some general stuff that everybody in the church can relate to and self-evaluate, but you don't come out here and say, now, Brother Tommy over there is a liar. And bro, you don't do that. But they're using the pulpit to come in here and preach against Trump. And then look what she has the nerve to say.
He threatens the foundations of our nation and everything Dr. King persevered to save.
And it's the total opposite of what this lying bag of rhino is saying. Total opposite. Full-blown projection. So you think Liz Cheney is in touch with the black church? I wonder what would happen if they fired up that organ. Dun, dun. Somebody say I'm buffering. Hit that refresh first. See how that works. And I wonder what Liz Cheney would do if the organists start backing her up as she's up there preaching hate against Trump. Dun, dun, dun. She'd be like, what is that? What is that? You're scaring me. What's that noise? Oh, we're backing you up. Drummer. She wouldn't know what to do. So now here she is. All these impressionable minds. They pick one of the black churches for whatever reason that is okay with bringing politicians in to garnish support from the church. So basically, we're going to use the church to campaign for us against Trump.
If given the chance, this former president's allies in Congress will once again ignore the rulings of our nation's courts, the outcome of our elections, and the words of our Constitution.
Now, this is unreal that she's up in here lying like that. But they've all done it. We saw Hillary, we saw Joe, we saw Fat Fanny, and now we're seeing this rhino. So now all of a sudden she's saying that Trump will ignore the rulings of the courts. What rulings? What did the court rule? I'm just wondering. I mean, how many of those cases did Trump wanted to bring to the courts were actually heard? None of them. So they were just rejected, and then that means that it's settled. Yeah, they didn't look at the evidence, so therefore that means that it was settled. They ruled on it. So now here she is talking about reject the rulings and all of that, and will reject the results. Now, the irony about what these people are doing is they're setting the stage to reject the results of a butt whooping that should come in November. They're setting the stage to say, Trump, if he wins, he's going to be taking back power. Yeah. So now the same thing that they're accusing Trump of doing, they're laying the groundwork to do. Unreal.
As they
look at the sheet.
As they claim for themselves the right to throw out the votes of millions of Americans. And
as they claim for themselves the rights to throw out the votes of millions of Americans. How? When did Trump try to throw out the results of millions of Americans, unlike what the Democrats and these rhinos are doing right now, who's trying to get him off the ballot so people can't even vote for him? But yeah, here she is talking about throw out the votes of it. No, we just want real votes. That's all we want. We don't want no dead folks voting. That's all we say. We don't want no illegal immigrants voting. We don't want folks voting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. We don't want that. That's all we want. We want everybody's vote to count. But here she is talking about some throwing out millions of votes. How? Are you talking about in the past or are you talking about moving forward? Because if you're talking about coming up in November, how is that even going to? I mean, you're laying the groundwork of a conspiracy, rhino woman. That's what you're doing. You're already saying that the upcoming election should be questioned. You're undermining our democracy. Unreal.
Install their former leader.
To install their former leader. So now she's talking about the future, y'all. She's saying we got to stop them because they want to throw out the votes of millions of Americans, but she ain't saying how. She ain't saying how. Because they want to install, not Trump win. See what they're doing? They're doing exactly what they claim Trump did. And she's doing it premeditatively. They ain't even had the election yet. And she's talking about he's going to be installed. Unreal. Where's Jack Smith? Where's Fat Fanny? Why aren't they coming and saying, you know what you're doing is you're laying the groundwork to undermine our democracy and could be looked at as an insurrection?
Our president, we must not let them prevail.
And look at these people. Oh. It's a shame. That breaks my heart to see black people get manipulated just like this. This, one of the most likely hated white women amongst black folks, they're so easily manipulated in their mind. To now, for some reason, look at her totally different. And it goes to show how Malcolm X, he said he was a smart man. I might not believe in everything he believed in, but he has some noodles when he was talking about how the media has the ability to make you hate who they want you to hate and love who they want you to love. They made these black folks who most likely, without manipulation, would have been like, who coming to speak? Liz Cheney? Man, if she don't get this, man, why would Liz Cheney come up in here? Now all of a sudden, look what they got them doing. Standing ovation. Yay. Oh, God. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. Just continue. Look at him. Oh, that's why you got that Fat Albert character right there. He done brought her up in his church with that big boxing glove on the front of his face. That's Raphael Nordock. That big old Fat Albert. Hey, how you doing, Rudy? That big nose. I go up in there and just go to work on that nose. So now here he is up in there trying to look all deep and stuff.
And my friends, faith communities have a particular obligation this election year.
Okay.
There are churches across our nation where ministers preach from the pulpits in adoration of this former president.
What's it to you? See, this is where you go too far. This woman is up in here saying there are churches across our nation that preach in adoration for this former president. Now, you know, if you listen to what she's really saying, she's saying that's unacceptable preaching and teaching. See, if you think that these Democrats, if they ever seize complete control, unabated, if you think they're not going to turn their attention on Christianity and on churches that are real churches, churches that are not watered down, you're mistaken. That's not just Democrats, but definitely right. All these globalists. I'll just say that. These globalists, because they don't want any opposition to their doctrine, their policies, their goals, and agenda. And if a church is up in there teaching, what's to stop her from saying that they're up there teaching against their kids being transgendered? Huh? Yeah. See, it's unacceptable. There's churches around the country that's teaching against this. What's to stop her from saying there's churches out there that are teaching against, gay marriage or something, or abortion or whatever? They could apply that to everything as if she knows spiritual things, as if she knows that a pastor, what he should be hearing from God about, as she goes up into this church that obviously is not letting the Holy Spirit guide them, because the Holy Spirit would let them know that this woman is a rat. She's a rat and a rhino at the same time. So here they are allowing her to get up here and throw off on pastors across the country who ain't preaching against Donald Trump, I guess.
There are pastors who seem to have forgotten the first commandment.
And you're sitting right in front of one right there. That's the crazy part. The dude with the boxing glove on the front of his face. You're sitting in front of one. Unreal, man. This is crazy. So now here she is, supposing to know that all these pastors who got enough discernment to see the role that these globalists, the Democrats, and these rhinos are playing in fulfilling the prophecies of the last days. See, people who got enough discernment to see that, boy, I tell you, when it comes down to the fall of America and dragging us into Sodom and Gomorrah type behavior, it's going to come through radical, liberal, progressive, globalist, Marxist policies. There you go. See, and we don't want that. Granted, if it comes, it ain't going to come on our watch, whether you're a Christian or not. Stand your ground. But according to her, yeah, you're doing your country a disservice. You're doing God a disservice. You're forsaking your religion, forsaking the first commandment, like she obeys those. And the people clap.
And they are openly embracing an immoral, unstable, and depraved man who threatens violence and death, who attacks the rule of law.
Who threatens violence and death. What the heck is she talking about? This is unreal. Right in the church. I cannot believe it. It blows my mind to see them tolerate this mess, man. But it's Raphael Murdoch. See, he's a politician pastor. You don't want a politician pastor. So here he is, bring her up in that mug, and she's talking about, she's judging pastors. She's not a pastor. She don't know the hearts of pastors. She don't even know the responsibility of a pastor. But here she is, getting up there, judging all these pastors, putting her filthy lips on the decisions of men and women who are over a flock and might be hearing from the Lord and saying, God is taking me in a different direction away from these corrupt behind evil folks who want complete control and tyranny. But according to Liz Cheney, they have forsaken their duties and they are now supporting a man who what? Encourages violence? Where? What is she talking about? Let's see what she's saying again.
And who threatens violence and death.
Threatens violence and death. Is it just me? I'm going crazy. Is it just me? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. This woman just got up there and said, who threatens violence and death? I'm going, wait, who's she talking about? She talking about now Hitler? Because surely she can't be talking about Trump. Thank you. Somebody said, give me an example. Just one of Trump threatening violence and death. What else?
Who attacks the rule of law.
Who attacks the rule of law. The law and order president. The one who barked about the law through the whole 4 years of his presidency as the Democrats and, just launched a full-blown attack on society, the rule of law, with all of their people. All of the radical folks that they have radicalized, like they're trying to do right now. See, because understand, with talk like this, there are going to be people who hate churches now. And you know what? The only reason these church folks voted for Trump because they're all white nationalists and these pastors are, you're going to go ahead invoke a lot of anger in a lot of people talking like that. You big fat nasty rhino, you.
And he says he can terminate our Constitution.
Just line
All people of goodwill in this nation, regardless of race, religion, political affiliation, regardless of anything else that might divide us, must stand together against this.
We're looking at who is trying to divide us right there. It's so fascinating to sit back and go, you're talking about yourself and your party. Because, see, you're not a Republican. You're a rhino. You're in the uniparty, see. So you're talking about yourself and your party. You're the divider. The uniparty is okay with all the stuff you're talking about. If you think that these folks won't eventually weaponize the government against certain ideas, certain speeches, certain positions, all of that stuff, if you think they won't do that, as this woman sits here and talks about, there's churches out there that's teaching and preaching the wrong thing. So what she's saying is they're supporting a fascist, white nationalist dictator. Now, what category does that put them in? Think about it. Let's continue.
Oh, Hillary Clinton.
Oh.
I invited you here to thank us for
Okay.
not to give a political speech.
Okay.
Oh.
That's good. And I'm going to go back on that. Okay.
Well, look at that, guys. Now, look at the difference. Look at the difference when Trump showed up at a black church in Flint, Michigan, that they was messing over the water. And as soon as he mentioned Hillary Clinton's name, they told him, don't come up in here preaching. Don't come up here talking about something political, okay? We invited you here to just do what you do, but we don't want nothing political. Nothing political. But we just watched 4 stinking politicians get up in a pulpit and do just the opposite of that. Clinton, Funky Biden, Fat Fani, and Rhino Cheney. And yet, soon as Trump mentioned Hillary, Mr. Trump, we didn't invite you here to be talking about politics here. Interesting. Wow.
Okay. Flint's pain is a result.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd have been like, you get nothing. You get nothing. How about this? You go out and drink some rainwater. Now, let's get to these Iowa primary results, y'all. Look at these reactions. See, because now they're in full press. They're like, man, we got to stop all of this mess. So go into full press. Here we go. Look at these. Look at these.
We're going to seal up the border.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to hear what you got to say, Trump.
We have an invasion. We have an invasion of millions and millions of people
Darn right, Trump.
coming into our country. I can't imagine why they think that's a good thing.
Donald Trump declaring victory with a historically strong showing in the Iowa caucuses. If these numbers
Excuse me, CNN. Excuse me, CNN. Excuse me, Jake Crapper. I'm trying to hear Trump. Why are you talking over him? Why can't I hear what he says? Because he just got done winning the primary. Y'all should sit back with your arms crossed and let him finish talking, right? But what does Jake Crapper do? Fake Crapper comes in, and soon as Trump brings up an issue that the Democrats are trying to protect and not have Biden be exposed for this raggedy border, Fake Crapper comes in and starts talking over Trump. Little censorship indirectly. You see him try to do that, and then listen to his nasty comments.
The biggest victory for a non-incumbent president in the modern era for this contest. A relatively subdued speech as these things go so far.
Relatively
here he is right
subdued
now under my voice. You hear him repeating his anti-immigrant rhetoric.
You hear the disdain in his voice. Relatively subdued speech, considering. What are you saying, Fake? What are you saying, Fake? Huh, Crapper? So now then he comes out, here you hear him with his anti-immigrant speech. It's not an anti-immigrant speech. See, that's exactly why Fake Crapper started talking over Trump. Because, see, he don't want his raggedy audience to hear that Trump is talking about the illegal immigration crisis. So now what he's doing is full-blown lying and saying Trump is anti-immigrant. They don't, you know what? They can't even hide it, man. It's so obvious that they are a part of the deep state. It's ridiculous. Man, we just maybe years ago didn't know how deep they were. into this mess. So now he comes out and changes the whole context of what Trump is saying and what Trump believes. This anti-immigrant rhetoric. And that's how they go ahead and run cover for these bad policies of these globalists, these fascists, these Democrats. That's how they run cover for it, by reassigning the motive when conservatives say that's stupid. Not because we hate immigrants, not because we don't like people of color. It's because they're illegal. That's why. But this guy, his anti-immigrant speech.
He did take time to praise his rivals, Haley and DeSantis and Ramaswamy by name. Rather un-Trump-like to do that.
Insult right after making a statement. There it is. He did praise his colleagues, which is anti-Trump, to do that. What in the world are you doing, fake crapper? If I'm watching CNN, I'm going, obviously this man hates Trump. I can hear the disdain in his voice. This is an anti-Trump network. This is a network that has an assignment and a mission, which is to stop Trump. And they wonder why we don't believe in him. They wonder why Trump, when he said, you are fake news, they wonder why that stuck. It's stuck because it's the truth. As we listen to fake crapper, that's anti-Trump is normally anti-Trump. So give a false fake compliment followed by an insult, because we cannot say anything positive about Trump.
Gracious, but perhaps a sign of some message discipline, at least for one night.
That's just
that's something about gracious discipline, at least for one night. Man, I'm telling you, I want so bad. Heavenly Father, grant unto me the gift of being brought onto one of these networks. Oh boy, I'm telling you right now, I'll be backstage like this. Am I on yet? Am I mic'd up? Everybody, sir, you look very excited about going out there. Yeah. I love CNN. I love CNN and MSNBC. Why are you looking like that, huh? What? Oh, that's a smile. That's a smile. Yeah, see? Soon as all right, you're on. Full speed. Run out there, sit down, all right, crapper. I want to ask you some questions. So you see crapper? You see him? Then, of course, you got, oh, yeah. The nose that knows nothing. Toucan nose. Rachel Mad Cow on the scene. It's just a freestyle. Meanwhile, I keep the beat kicking, sweat dripping, girlies in the limo eating chicken. Oops, don't get the grease on your pantyhose. I let you roll, move over, I gotta blow my nose. I get stupid. I shoot an arrow like Cupid. I use a word that don't mean nothing, like loop it. There you go. So now here comes the Mad Cow on the loose. Listen to her.
for a second. At this point in the evening, the projected winner of the Iowa caucuses has just started giving his victory speech.
Okay.
We will keep an eye on that as it happens. We will let you know if there's any news made in that speech, if there's anything noteworthy, something substantive and important. The reason I'm saying this is
because we are a propaganda network, and we are really the fascists that we claim Trump is. We believe in censorship. We want to control speech. We want to control your thoughts. And we want to shield you from the truth. And now I'll disguise it as we're looking out for you. We're protecting you from his lies.
Of course, there is a reason that we and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform.
Because the deep state told y'all to. That's why. Don't you let people hear what he got to say. Come up with something. And the only thing you could come up with is that we're protecting you from him and all of his lies and stuff like that, because we feel that you guys aren't smart enough to decipher whether Trump's lying or not. We can't do that. Or is it that you guys have invested so much time lying to your audience and brainwashing your audience, you don't want to run the risk of them hearing the truth? See, you got to keep the bubble heads popping. You got to keep them popping.
To remarks by former President Trump. It is not out of spite. It is not a decision that we relish. It is a decision that we regularly revisit. And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision. But
man, boy, I need a bullhorn. I need a bigger platform, y'all. I need to, I'm telling you right now, I'm amazed that people aren't seeing this on a mega scale and how transparently corrupt the media is. See, that's why my platform isn't bigger. That's what it is. So here she is talking about that. We have a responsibility as a media, and there's a we're hurt. We're hurt by doing. We don't relish this. We're not excited about this. It painfully. And I'm going.
There is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things.
And that's the exact opposite of what she just said. It's a cost to us as a fake, hypocritical propaganda network to air the truth, because it costs us when it comes down to our controlled, brainless viewers. We can't have y'all waking up these zombies. We can't have the truth penetrating all of our people that's stuck in the matrix. We can't have that. It's a cost to us. We might lose our last 6 or 7 viewers. We can't have that. We got to protect those bubbleheads. So here she is claiming to the people, along with Jake Crapper. He tried to do it more subtly. See, Jake Crapper, fake Crapper, came out and just start talking over Trump. She comes out and said, we ain't even going to let you hear him. We ain't going to let you hear him. But we're not the fascists. We're not the dictators.
Things. That is a fundamental truth of our business and who we are. And so his remarks tonight will not air here live. We will monitor them and let you know about any news that he makes.
Y'all hear that crap? There it is. We can't, let y'all hear the truth. But what she's saying is Trump's lying. We can't subject y'all to all the untruths. And I'm thinking your whole network is like the leaders of untruth. So many lies come out of MSNBC. I mean, they have trumped CNN, and that's bad. That's saying something. And if you don't believe it, listen to this garbage coming from Big Face. Y'all ready for Applehead, fake, bootleg, raggedy, discounted, scary J. Blige with that big blonde muzzle top up top? I don't know what that is. Somebody put a big Cinnabon on top of her head. Now she's out there with that bad makeup and that big old hot dog pack neck out here about to say some more lies.
But, I feel like the important sort of data point, and, Steve talks about it a lot. He's going to probably talk about it a little more tonight. Is unbelievable. These are white Christians.
Oh, God.
That this is a state that is overrepresented by white Christians that are.
This is what I'm talking about. If you don't think they're coming after Christians, if you don't think that they hate Christians, listen to the language they're using. They're targeting white Christians because they're targeting a population of people, number one, who are voting for Trump, the largest demographics that vote for Trump, they're targeting them. And number two, if you're white and a Christian, then you are radical, and listen to what else you are according to Big Face.
Going to participate in these caucuses, especially tonight. Earlier today, reached out to Robbie Jones, from the Public Religion Research Institute, knowing that we were going to talk about Iowa. And this is a hyper evangelical white state. And he
just bringing that up for no reason. No reason. What does that have to do with these people's voting? Which is a hyper white evangelical state. Why does that matter? Why are y'all focused on race? Could it be that this is Marxist conflict theory? Let's go ahead and target the biggest opposition to our agenda. Let's demonize these people for being white and for being Christian. And you wonder why a lot of liberals are radicalized. You wonder why a lot of young folks hate Christianity. Yeah. See, they look at Christians as you're the source of all the hate, the division, you guys, and you're not wanting your abortions and your 9-month abortions and stuff. You folks out there that aren't okay with trans folks singing in your choir / kids being see, that's what happens when you get people like this who try to link Christianity with all of this hate, division, separation, radicalization, all of that mess. Why are you even talking about their religion?
He said the following to me: Iowa is about 61% white Christian. The country as a whole is approximately 41% white Christian. And in Iowa, we're talking about evangelical white Christians. And he said the following, because I asked him, what do they get out of supporting Donald Trump? Because
now, this right here, man, I mean, I almost lost my crap after hearing what this woman just said about all of these Christians in Iowa. This is unreal that they didn't just go, what did she just say? I'm surprised they're not in the studio go, okay, we hired her to do some race bait, but you just went too far on this. Listen to what she says is the motivation of all of these white evangelical Christians in Iowa.
Because he keeps losing, he keeps delivering losses and losses and losses.
What are you talking about, big face? Trump keeps losing, he just won. Losses and losses and losses. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, full-blown gaslighting. I'm going to tell you something because I trust that our audience is completely ignorant and have bought into all of our lies. So Trump keeps losing as he keeps winning. And you're right, it is the end times, y'all. It is the end times because you can feel the spirit of the Antichrist becoming more aggressive through these people. It's like back in the day, you would never bring up religion. You would never demonize a whole bunch of Christians and link them to white evangelical Christians. And then she has the nerve to go this far. I'm telling you, man, she better pray that her tongue doesn't just disintegrate in her mouth.
He said the following: they see themselves as the rightful inheritors of this country, and Trump has promised to give it back to them. All the things that we think about electability, about, what are people gaming out, or none of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American.
Almost don't know what to say to that. Big Face never ceases to amaze me when it comes down to saying some of the most hateful, divisive, racist things that you can possibly say. So now here she is in the hearts of 60% of white evangelical Christians in Iowa. She's in their heart. She's saying that 60% of Iowa Christians, okay, all them Christians up there, are voting for Trump because they see this country as their country. It's our inheritance, man. We're taking it back. That's why we vote for Trump. This place belongs to us. I mean, to say something like that is so evil. That's all I mean, it's just so evil. You're trying to convince people that all of these folks who just want their country back, just want to make sure, and when I say back, not for them because they're white, for Americans, for us as Americans, they want their country back just like me. So what am I? Do I just want to, feel like that, what, this is my country and I just want it back, man, this place belongs to us, the blacks. Am I the same person? What about all the rest of the Christians around the country that are going to vote for Trump? What is she saying? She's straight race baiting and just threw that out there on 60% of evangelical Christians in Iowa. And her producers did not send out a big cane around her neck and pull her off the set. That's what's more fascinating. They left her right out there. And then look what else they allowed to follow up.
A few moments later.
CNN projects that Donald Trump will win the Iowa caucuses.
Oh, yeah.
This projection based on his overwhelming lead in our entrance poll of Iowa caucus goers and some initial votes that are coming in. The former president pulling off a huge early victory in his bid to return to the White House. Trump easily defeating his top opponents, Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, who are now in a high-stakes fight for second place.
New Hampshire. And I think to the point that you made, Steph, I mean, it's the elephant in the room. She's still a brown lady.
Here we go. Now all of a sudden, what are they doing? Anybody but Trump. Now we got to come out and support Nikki Haley and bring some race element into this now. So yeah, she doesn't stand a chance because she's a brown lady. Before they didn't like her. See, but now they're at that point where like, okay, she part of the rhinos. She part of the Uniparty. Okay, cool. So we got the green light to now protect her. Okay, we're on it. We're on it. So now all of a sudden, Nikki Haley, she's a brown lady. I mean, before she told me before I found out what nationality she was, I thought she was a full-blown white woman. Yeah, she doesn't even come across as Middle Eastern. When I saw her initially, when she first started working in the Trump administration, I was like, okay, who's this white lady? That was it. I didn't say, look, she looks Palestinian, she looks Arabic, she looks what? No, she looks like a white lady. But here now, all of a sudden, she's a brown woman.
That's got to try to win in a party that is deeply anti-immigrant and which accepts...
Deeply anti-immigrant. Man, I can't even believe this network still exists. I really can't. So now all of a sudden, our party that's deeply anti-immigrant. I'm anti-stupidity. That's what I am. I'm anti-fake news. Yeah, I'm anti-big face, anti-Applehead, anti-fake scary J. Blige. I am anti that. But now all of a sudden we're deeply anti-immigrant, not illegal immigrant. None of that stuff.
The notion that you can say immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. She's getting, birthered by Donald Trump. And I don't care how much the donor class likes her.
So now she's not winning because she's not an Anglo-Saxon, pure white person, and somehow she's being birthed by Donald Trump. How? Is Trump bringing up Nikki Haley's race or nationality? No, he's not. Okay. He's bringing up the fact that she's a liar and a betrayer, and she's a backstabber. Yeah, she's a part of the uniparty. Yeah, he's bringing up stuff like that. But see, only thing they can do is focus on race, gender, all of that.
So ramp up a lot, the better she does in New Hampshire. So it's still a challenge. I don't see how she becomes the nominee of that party with Donald Trump still around. I can't picture it happening. Maybe it could happen. Ron DeSantis' only argument for staying in it is he's the white guy, that he can still make the appeal to white people.
While we have...
This is fascinating. They are a full-blown racist network. They're infested with racism. They're infested with identity politics. They're infested with... All of them are Marxists sitting up there on that platform right there. Whether they know it or not. They might think they're just fighting against Donald Trump. They don't realize they are full-blown Marxists. Now, they're getting paid for their Marxism real good, but that's what they are. Because if they were not up there pushing this garbage, they wouldn't even be on this raggedy behind network. And then Mad Cow comes in and listen to what Mad Cow says.
It is not... If we are worried about the rise of authoritarianism in this country, we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. If we're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government, the leader who is trying to do that is part of that equation. Mm-hmm. But people wanting that is a much bigger part of that equation. Right. And the American...
Now, as the fascists we just heard say that we can't let you hear what Donald Trump has said. Now she's talking about if we are against fascism and if we are against that, but the leader of Donald Trump. Okay, so now all of a sudden, as she's talking about Donald Trump being fascistic, yet they can't air what Donald Trump said. Here we go.
Electorate is made up of two major parties. One of those parties has been flirting with extremism on the ultra-right for a very long time. They've brought them in a way that they haven't been central to Republican electoral politics ever before, and I know because I've been studying this.
Studying this? What have you learned? You've learned nothing, Mad Cow. Yeah, all you're doing is studying propaganda. Yeah, down in the book of propaganda, that's what I'm in. How do I make lies seem like truth? That's all she does, man. So here she is. I've been studying this. And I'm sitting there going, well, obviously you've been reading the wrong material. Because I've been watching the same thing you've been seeing. And I've come to a totally different conclusion. Especially about that Russia, Putin, Russia, Moscow, Russia, Putin, Russia. Especially about that, Mad Cow. You still haven't addressed that, Big Nose. You still, right now, have not addressed that. How about you reach up in that big nostril of yours and pull out some truth? Let's continue.
But once you have radicalized one major party so that those are the preferences of the people who adhere to your party.
You're talking about the Democrat voters. Yes, they like it more radical. That's why they're mad at Joe Biden right now. He's not radical enough. He's not out there saying, free Palestine, free Palestine. He's not out there doing that. See, so now the folks y'all created to be running around, interrupting stuff, screaming, getting in the middle of the street, blocking traffic, trying to rush the White House like they did the other night. But for some reason, I'm not hearing anything about that. I'm not hearing anything about an insurrection and overthrow of the government. I'm not hearing anything about that. Okay, these folks were created by these folks. Those radical folks were created by them and the Democrats. But now here she is talking about, what's really scary is that Trump supporters or conservatives, we like it now. We want it more radical. We want it more racist.
The leader's interchangeable. And yes, Trumpism is sometimes what we call it. MAGA movement is probably a better way to do it. But there is an authoritarian movement inside Republican politics that isn't being bamboozled by Trump. They are pushing Trump to get more and more extreme, because the more extreme things he says, the more they adhere to him. And that is coming from a very large proportion of the American right that adheres to the Republican Party. And that's why this is a Republican Party problem more than it is the problem of one man and his leader.
Doesn't that tie together?
So now there you go. That right there was the message of no. See, we want to eliminate the Republican Party. More so, we want to eliminate the MAGA movement. We want to eliminate that part of the Republican Party that is ground roots and have now opened their eyes to see our garbage. We want that part gone. Bring back the rhinos. We like a Cheney. We like a Mitt Romney. We like them. We like them. We like Mitch McConnell, a Lindsey Graham. We like them. Adam Singler. We like those guys. We don't like folks that says these people right here are trying to steal our country right up from under our noses, and we're not going to let it happen. Yeah, we don't like those guys. So now there she is trying to demonize not only any real MAGA Republican in Congress, but any real MAGA voter or supporter. So then that's 64% of blacks right now who say they would vote for, well, he's down to 64%. So then that means there's a roughly 30-something percent, 36% or so of black folks that say they would support Trump over Biden. Then what are they? I mean, I guess they long for white supremacy and radicalization and stuff. These people are the evilest people on the planet, man. Evilest.
Mixed interference.
Listen to this one.
You know, all the things that Trump is actually accused of, people should be reminded of it. I mean, this weekend, I even forgot. It was the 3-year anniversary of his second impeachment.
Well, it's easy to forget because y'all have accused him of about 50,000 things. See, that's what happens when you throw a bunch of spaghetti on the wall. I don't know which strand it is. All I see is a bunch of spaghetti on the wall. Hey, which one you want me to pick out? You don't see that one spaghetti string right there? It's like 50 of them. Which ones? I don't understand. Yeah, they all start falling on deaf ears. So now here she is, mad that all of their radical Marxist, globalist, evil efforts to stop Trump is falling on deaf ears. And here she is. The people need to be reminded of it. You know what? Well, it's like 50,000 things. What's next? You know, we're sitting there like, oh, yeah, okay. Which impeachment was this one? The first or the second or what?
Never mentioned. The only reason why I remembered is because it popped up on my Facebook on this day. I had pictures of the newspaper covers of Trump impeached again for January 6th. No mention of that. That's malpractice, in my opinion. Because if the American people aren't reminded of who this motherfucker is, it gets normalized.
Would you watch your mouth, you nasty lady? Somebody go get me a big fat bar of soap to shove right down that throat. She needs some soap down her throat. Who this mother effer is? There you go. That's not radicalization. No, not at all. Yeah, there you go. She wants this all fresh in the minds of all the people, and you can see this all taking place in the whole Democrat Party. We are at DEFCON 5. I need everybody to go into every black church. I need y'all to get on every network and talk about everything that we've thrown on Trump. Hopefully, people will say, I can't even see Trump because he's covered by all of this garbage we've thrown on him. Trump's in there somewhere? All I see is the Russia collusion delusion. Then there was the impeachment. There was a second one. I can't see him through the second impeachment. And then there was the J6 committee, and Those 4 indictments covering up pretty much everything. How many of? That's what they want. So here she is trying to pretend like I didn't even know it until it popped up. Please, that's your job as a propagandist, is to know all the dirt, all the issues that you can bring up and say, I can't believe people are voting for this guy. Look at that. That was a second impeachment. And then call him an MF. Boy, I tell you, somebody go get me the soap.
And then we have what we have, where millions of people think it's okay to vote for Donald Trump and who wants to be a dictator.
What happened?
Lie after lie. Millions of people think it's okay to vote for Donald Trump who wants to be a dictator. But look, y'all. So after the results, the DeSantis camp comes out and they're a little upset with the results.
Tonight is appalling. The media calling the race for Donald Trump before votes have been cast. I personally spoke in multiple precincts in front of hundreds of voters. And while I'm presenting and delivering the closing argument for Ron DeSantis and actually flipping voters, people start getting alerts on their phones saying the race is over before they've even won. One guy said, why do we even bother voting if it's...
Wait a minute, man. Hold on. Mr. In Ron DeSantis camp out here upset with the voting, and he's questioning the results, y'all. Yeah, he don't like the results of the election.
It's already over. That is absurd. That challenges the very tenets of our Republican democracy.
It does?
And that should not happen.
Should not happen.
We still expect a good night. I know, it's going to take a while for votes to come in, but you can't taint the process like that.
But wait a minute.
A victory declared before people have even voted, before arguments have been heard, that's not right.
Even if you do end up winning in Iowa, will Donald Trump admit it? He didn't admit it when Ted Cruz beat him in 2016.
No, of course not. Yeah, no, that's baked in the cake. We win Iowa, and then he'll say something, but people aren't going to buy that.
Republicans.
You're right. We didn't buy it, as you had your surrogate out there talking about the votes and all of this stuff. You know what? This is not right. We need to look into this. Sounds like you guys aren't accepting the results of the election. But yet we have Ron DeSantis going there and prostitute himself on MSNBC, because that's the only reason he would be on there. And it looks relatively civil. See, because any other time, Mika and Joe would have been like, hey, you white nationalists, you racists, aren't you the ones that's burning books and hate kids? Aren't you the one that's... They would have been doing that. But now that he could potentially stop Trump, now they're sitting back listening to him. They were listening to him. Then throw out the softball question to get him to trash Trump. You think Trump's going to accept the results of the election? Well, no, he's going to say something. And now we just saw his crew come out talking about, this is mud on our democracy. We got to look into this and other. I'm going, who's not accepting the results now, Ronnie, old boy? And then Tommy Lahren, she comes to the revelation that it's over.
Have kind of a real big choice ahead. Do we all galvanize around Donald Trump now, or do we wait a month or a few weeks? And I think, even as someone who is a big supporter of Ron DeSantis, I think that tonight, with this decisive victory for Donald Trump, I think it is time for Republicans to galvanize behind Donald Trump. I do believe he's going to be our nominee, so it's time to set our sights on the general and let's get to work.
Let's not tarry. Okay? That is well said. So let's go ahead and consolidate. Ron, go back to Florida. Finish doing what you did there. You're a good governor. Stay there. Stay there right about now. Okay. Nikki Haley, go sit down somewhere. Okay. All right. But guys, we're going to end because guess who's back? Fat Fani. We talked about her last night. This is one of the other key elements of them trying to stop Trump. Oh boy. I tell you, my man from Trump Fan put together a montage that is really showing how corrupt she is, but not only how corrupt she is, but how these radical liberal YouTubers, these commentators, these networks use all of these lies and propaganda to try to cover for her and to attack Trump. And now he has to expose this one guy who's out there. He's a Fani fan. We got us a Fani fan. He's like, Fani. She's our girl. She can't do it. Yeah, he's out there singing about Fani. And boy, this montage exposes that, she's no daisy. So let's check out this guy.
Well, hey, this guy's doing work no American wants to do, dating Fani Willis and getting how bad is it when you got to give somebody $650,000 to go out with?
That is pretty funny. Fanny up here, man, dropping all that cheese. Oh, man, she won her lover boy, Mr. Lover Man. So now, here's Fanny dropping all of that money. And I mean, I ain't seen this guy's ex-wife. Somebody was like, man, she's real pretty. But I'm not seeing that in Fanny. I'm really not seeing that. Could it be all that money? Maybe. I'm pretty sure. Money will make you look a lot better. So Fanny drops all that cheese and now they're joking about her. And this guy right here. Look at that. Fanny didn't pay this guy over $650,000 for prosecuting Trump. It was for not making her wear a bag over her head. Oh, boy. I tell you, the jokes keep coming. Yeah, for not wearing a bag over her head doing the you-know-what. That's probably true. Here we go. Watch
you can be goddamn sure I'm going to keep on talking about Donald Trump.
Somebody go get the soap for this big bubblehead dude right here with no neck. So now, he hates Trump. You can see that, August 23rd. See, we got to keep track of the dates here and see how this all played out.
Finally, after all of this time, we're seeing progress.
Of what?
In this case, what made me excited? I want to introduce you to Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney.
People also seem to think that in society that there are certain people that are immune from prosecution. If you are a celebrity, if you are a high-ranking public official. I guess that there is something strange with me. Lady Justice is actually blind.
Yeah. Y'all hear Funky Fanny out here talking about I guess there's something strange with me. Lady Justice is actually blind. Some people think they're above the law, like me. Yes, absolutely. Above the law. So here she is, y'all. She looks so gentle, looks so, noble. There she is out there laying her case back in the day. And this guy, he loved her. He loves her.
Trump's allies prepare for indictments in Georgia probe. They're coming for everyone. It's not just Donald. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is likely to indict a number of his associates. And then finally here,
Fulton County DA Fani Willis.
Uh-oh. So now that man might have got a little prematurely happy. He was excited about the possibility of Fat Fanny swinging in like Tarzana, and destroying Trump and all of his friends. Got them all on the run, y'all. Somebody said, who is this man? Honestly, he has some channel TFN. I don't know what that stands for, but apparently he has a decent sized audience. So he's basically getting paid by the left to push this stuff. He's a ultimate Trump hater. There it is. So let's go ahead. Somebody said TY. All right. So let's hear about his fan. His hero, Fanny. Here we go.
Continues to come under fire over her alleged romantic relationship with the lead prosecutor in that Trump case and outside counsel.
Look, y'all, he got a shite head. Somebody put shite right on his head. There it is. He's a shite head. So his, Fanny fan now all of a sudden is getting busted. Here we go.
Paid over $650,000. His name is Nathan Wade. According to those court documents, she has been subpoenaed to appear as a witness in his divorce proceedings, and a new bombshell report from Politico revealing that the January 6th committee helped guide the early days of the Trump Georgia probe.
Ooh, I'm telling. I wonder if Shithead right here knows that. There you go. See, back in August, he was excited about Fat Fanny. Yeah, she was going to save us all. So let me get this straight. Fat Fanny paid him $650,000 plus Fat Fanny was meeting with the Biden administration and then sending him up there to meet with the Biden. That sounds like collusion to me, y'all. Yeah, that don't sound like a noble cause. That don't sound like Lady Justice is blind. Sound like Lady Justice took that mug off. Like, all right, now here's what we gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna put it back on. I'm gonna put it back on when it suits us. But right now, we got to get this cat out of here. That's what it sounds like.
So this is good news.
It's good news.
This might be the arraignment and the arrest and the indictment where we get a mugshot, where they print him, where they're treating him like the perp that he is.
Like the perp that he is. Just like you're the shite head that you are. Yeah, that's why they put that meme right on top of your head. It fits. So now that perp that he is in that mugshot turned into a blessing. took a curse and turned it into a blessing. What the devil meant for evil, God turned it around for your good. You got shite heads out there that's gonna hate, filled with shite from the rooter to the tutor. That's what this dude is, filled with shite. Let's continue hearing them hate on Trump and praising Fat Fanny.
The Attorney General of New York and the DA in Fulton County, Fani Willis, have in common. According to the visitor logs, both visited the Biden White House in the last 2 years.
No, they're innocent. They're doing this all on their own accord. Man, there's no collusion. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that there's any communication between these people and no evidence.
It makes me excited and happy and pleased and patriotic, maybe again, that Donald Trump and his associates, several of these people are running scared. They are panicking.
What? Y'all hear him? He's excited about that. They running scared. Running scared. And I'm thinking to myself, now, wait a minute. That sounds like the Democrat Party as a whole right now. As Trump gets closer and closer back to that White House. That's what it sounds like to me. When they're coming out here talking about some Trump's out, he's a white nationalist, he's a dictator, he's about to take over, they're going to install him, he's going to be the president for the rest of his life. And I'm saying, that sounds like something that a bunch of scared people will say. When you get to the point where you're saying things like what we just heard in the beginning of my show, where you got to make sure nobody hears Donald Trump by lying to your audience and saying, we're doing this for you. But you know, because there's a cost. That's what that sounds like.
Fani Willis was accused of having an improper relationship with the top prosecutor in the Trump case, a relationship from which she allegedly benefited financially. Quote, the allegations are salacious. Arguably, the most famous district attorney in the country hired her romantic partner to help prosecute a former president and then profited from the arrangement.
No, that can't be true because we heard Fat Fanny in that church the other day. And she said, Lord, wait until I go ahead and call them out and expose this shenanigans. I guess she had said that she had only hired him. She had only hired him because, you know, he was an upstanding, well-qualified judge and, attorney. That's it. And the only reason folks got a problem with her hiring this dude is because she had the nerve to pick a black man. Just because he's black, not her lover, and not the fact that she's benefiting off of this, as she gets in there and make all kind of confessions that all the stuff that people are saying about him and her are true, because she was mixing in a whole bunch of stuff like, I'm flawed, we all make mistakes. What she didn't do is come out and say, these are all lies. She's laying the groundwork for mercy and pity when it all comes out. That's what she did. By sliding that in amongst her preaching him and herself out of trouble.
She assigned him to be a special prosecutor in order to avoid going through the normal approval process for an outside attorney. She then subsequently paid him a hefty amount in taxpayer dollars, while he, in turn, took her on beautiful vacations to California, Florida, and the Caribbean.
So let me get this straight. I'm going to hook you up. Okay, baby? I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to go ahead and circumvent the process. And I'm just going to go ahead and place you in, okay? I'm going to pay you a lot of money, but listen, on the back end, all I'm asking is that you use a little bit of that cheese for me. A little cheese, please. That's all I'm asking. Take Fat Fanny on a trip. Fat Fanny ain't been on no trip in a long time. Nobody want to go ahead and roll with Fat Fanny. So go ahead, take me on a trip. All right, hey, you're going to drop $650,000 on me. I'll take you wherever you want to go, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but just don't jump on my back. Yeah. So let's continue because she's a hero.
And here's the cherry on top. This is the Fulton District Attorney's lead prosecutor in the Trump case, who also happens to be her romantic partner, charging taxpayers a cool $2,000 in order to travel to talk to Joe Biden's White House lawyers about prosecuting Joe Biden's political opponent. That is, if nothing else, absolutely amazing.
It is.
A lot of experts, a lot of people who are not in my position as a commentator, like legal analysts, are saying that this case in Georgia against Donald Trump, this Fani Willis brought case,
is what?
They're saying this might be the nail in Donald Trump's metaphorical coffin.
Wow, we've been hearing that one for a long time. Now, somebody just said I should start my show earlier because they're from another country. Oh man, and it's 2:30 a.m. there. Yeah, that was a tough one to work around. Unless I start doing like a 7 in the morning show. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty far away. You on 2:30 time. So now, y'all hear this guy? The nail in the coffin. Remember y'all? The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. Teflon Don though.
Donald Trump is a former president of the United States of America who is in a clear conspiracy with these others. And now, while he whines that this is a witch hunt, while he whines that this is the deep state, Democrats, radical left coming after him,
You know how much of a fool this guy sounds like? There's some deep state conspiracy as he whines that this is a witch hunt. And yet they wonder why Trump's getting more popular. Because we all think it's a witch hunt too. See, when I hear propaganders like that get up there and overemphasize and dramatize all of it, now whines that there's, and I'm going, pull back, shithead, pull back. Right about now, you're only making me say, man, that sounds pretty much like a witch hunt. That sounds like a witch hunt. So let's hear from this guy.
Biden and his White House are lying when they said that they didn't have any communications with any of these Democrat prosecutors,
Throw the case out.
like Alvin Bragg and Fani Willis, before they brought these unprecedented charges against President Trump, this election interference, because Nathan Wade billed for those meetings. And the fact that he billed for those meetings, his 2 meetings prior to Fani Willis's indictment with the White House staff, proves that they talked about Trump's indictment. Because
wow. Now, see, remember, the Biden administration said they've never talked to any of these people. No. Now we find out all of them had some involvement with the White House. Now, what I don't understand is why this stuff ain't being highlighted. I don't understand how these things aren't being thrown out. I mean, it's obvious that this is election interference. The Biden administration, and I ain't saying Biden because he probably have no idea what's going on, but the Biden administration is using their power to target their political enemy and to coordinate with these fake bootleg prosecutors to go after Trump. But yet the idiot out here can't recognize it and is out here talking about some Fanny, she's really gone after him and they're all running scared.
Because why else would Nathan Wade have billed for those meetings if they didn't talk about what he was working on?
Yeah, they didn't want to talk about what he was working on. According to the legal analyst on CNN last night that you heard on my show, he would be crazy not to go and meet with them. That's right. I'm sure he had to talk about the sources and methods and protocols and stuff like that. There's no smoking gun. No smoking gun here. Don't look this way. Look over there. Yeah, that's what they said. But yet nobody's coming out talking about what he actually said and billed 24 hours for. Yeah, I don't understand.
You're not meeting with the Biden DOJ. You're meeting with the Bidens. You're meeting with Kamala herself in her home. What is going on? And when is our country going to stop talking about it and start doing something about it?
That's what I was just saying. Because see, if I'm the Republicans, I should be all over this like a spider monkey. I should be in midair right now, about to jump on top of all of this information that's coming out. I should be throwing this on every network and a advertisement. The Biden administration said they did not meet with Trump's prosecutors, but we found out that they did. I would expose all this crap. As they're running around talking about we're trying to save democracy and Trump, the 14th Amendment, as they're doing all of that, they should be in a full press to combat and expose these evil folks. And you know who else I'm furious with? Is the governor of Georgia right now. This man, after hearing this about Fat Fanny, should open up an investigation on her tail ASAP. He should have did it soon as they brought these charges against Trump. But he's just sitting back watching, knowing that she's corrupt. Because he probably can't say nothing anyway. Sitting back going, I actually was colluding with him too to allow this crap. Yeah. The fact I knew they were coming after Trump and I was okay with it. So here we go, y'all. Somebody say we need some music tonight. I ain't got a song in my spirit right now. I'm mad. I'm seeing I might bust the one up. I don't know. I'm lost. Sometimes I get sensitive.
Because they have no problem doing something about it when it's Trump.
But this is it. This is the most dangerous, damaging, the greatest possibility of seeing him face legal consequences, conviction, jail, that it's going to come out of this.
They want that. That guy is wishful thinking. Yeah, this is our big chance that we can send him to jail. That's what's going to come out of this. But yet you overlook the creep that's in the White House right now that should be under the jail. Can't see all of that corruption, though. Definitely. As he's talking about how corrupt Trump is and he's a perp and he should be perp walked and stuff. And I'm going, boy, it's funny how the left thinks they can sniff out injustice and, attacks on democracy and corruption and can't even see the corruption right before their eyes. No evidence. Thank you. It is evil. I appreciate all these comments. All right, so let's finish hearing this guy who thinks he's dropping knowledge and supporting Fat Fanny get exposed as we show Fat Fanny is no hero. She's no Daisy.
Maybe I'm not educated enough. Maybe I'm not knowledgeable enough. Maybe I'm too ignorant of all the details to comment on that.
All of the
Fulton County District Attorney, who is having lies told about her. She's being defamed on an almost daily basis by the ex-president of the United States. He's telling wild, insane, absolutely fabricated, defamatory lies about her and her love life.
What?
It is nonsense.
Nonsense? You see him running, to protect Fat Fanny? I'm wondering if are you kicking it with Fat Fanny? I'm just wondering, man, you defending Fat Fanny like you might have a dog in the fight, man. I don't know. How you know it's nonsense, brother? That's what I want to know. So you hear that man defaming her, that's absolute nonsense. I wonder what he's going to say when this all comes out. I would love to go back and visit him and say, so it all came out. Where's the nonsense? Everything Trump has been saying about these people has come to pass. It's all true. And yet they all do the same thing. These are allegations. Trump's just out here throwing out crazy stuff. Where does he get this?
Normally, I wouldn't give this oxygen, but I think it's important to know exactly what we're dealing with. Okay. What kind of a megalomaniac, liar, people bang on it. He's talking about Donald Trump. You're banging on about Donald Trump. You're bashing Donald Trump constantly. Can't you think of anything else? No. You can be goddamn sure I'm going to keep on talking about Donald Trump. Here's an ad. The Trump campaign spent $80,000 on and ran it in the Atlanta metro area for 4 days.
How far will the most corrupt president in history go to keep Republicans from winning back the White House? Meet the cast of unscrupulous accomplices he's assembled to get Trump. Letitia James, the socialist who ran on the promise, I'll go after Trump. And
what is that? Are these lies? What is he talking about? I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's all true. That's all true. But he wants to show us an example, guys. That man right there is like, I'm going to show you an example of how dumb I am. Because he must not be talking to us who are informed about what's going on. Yeah, whoever his audience is, they think that these are all lies and fabrications and Trump just being mad. That's what they think. Now, let's continue. See where this ad is going, because he's using this ad as an example of Trump's lies.
And Biden's newest lackey, Atlanta DA, Fani Willis. So incompetent. On her watch, violent crimes have exploded. So tainted, Willis was thrown off one case for trying to prosecute a political opponent. So dishonest. Willis, a fake subpoena. Welcome.
Willis was accused of creating a fake subpoena. No, wait. It chimed out a little bit. YouTube reconnected. Hold on, here we go.
Welcome to the Fraud Squad.
The Fraud Squad.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
And I'm Kevin from Kevin's Corner, and I approve that message too. I'm thinking to myself, what is the problem? What are you talking about? What, just to show you an example? He set that up as if he was about to drop something heavy on the show. Oh, if you think that I'm lying about this, normally I don't do this. Normally I don't do this. I wouldn't give it oxygen. But this time, I'm going to have to show you guys all about the lies of Donald Trump. And show me that. And I'm going, is this a joke? Are you trying to, no, you're serious? You're saying these are all lies? Everything in that ad was true.
Insane lies. The Fraud Squad.
Trump's tormentor,
New York Attorney General Letitia James. She brought a case that's never been tried in New York's 400-year history.
You hear that? Queen Latifah? You see Big Latifah up in that mug? Uh-huh. I don't even remember a song from Queen Latifah. But yeah. So Big Queen Latifah up in that mug, sitting here like she's this innocent little gentle woodland creature. Hands folded like this. Uh-huh. So let me get this straight. She's brought a case against Trump that never has been brought in 400 years or something.
No jury, no victim, and the defendant wasn't allowed to speak.
And then no jury, no victim. The defendant weren't allowed to speak, but this is not a witch hunt. Not a witch hunt. J6 committee. No defendant. Nobody was able to defend themselves. No cross-examination. No real opposition on the investigation. A part of that J6 witch hunt. All of that. But it's they are not even sitting back saying, guys, you know what? We got a reference of why Trump might feel this way based on the results of the Mueller investigation. The whole fake Russia investigation set a tone that they don't even stop for 1 second to even recognize that. They won't even stop and say, why would one feel as if these are all witch hunts? When in the past have it appeared that Trump was attacked only to find out that it was all a lie? Russia? Okay. All right. Then the Ukraine thing, because now we find out that Biden really did collude and got some money off of them and all of that stuff. All of these things are examples that make us say, what's the next one? That's all it does. All of the folks who followed that crap said, okay, y'all went from this to that to this to this to this and that. But this dummy, who most likely is getting paid, see, if I had a channel and I was up here pushing this kind of garbage, I'd have 1 gazillion trillion followers. I wouldn't be asking y'all for a monthly donation to support my channel. I'd be like, don't worry about it. I'm rich. I'm rich off of propaganda.
Finally here. Letitia James visited the White House not once, not twice, 3 times. 3? Before she sued the president, while she was suing the president, and then once to see Kamala.
Oh, and 3 times you should be out. 3 strikes, man. So let me get this straight. Latifah was up in the White House busting rhymes 3 times? You got to be kidding. But yet nobody's looking into this. Rachel Madcow and them aren't concerned? Huh? Yeah, the fake crapper. What about all those people who swarping down? The White House has no idea what's going on. There's no. There's no evidence, Mr. President. You can't say that. As Trump and the rest of us been saying, y'all are foolish if y'all don't think these people have been colluding with the White House and they have all coordinated all of this mess. All 4 of them. So now Queen Latifah was up in the White House.
Insane lies.
Insane lies.
Fraud squad.
We're learning that District Attorney Fani Willis in Georgia also visited the White House, partied with Kamala and others.
Fraud squad.
Yeah. Took that fat Fanny right up in the White House partying, shaking that Fanny from side to side. So now, the fraud squad.
This is total corruption. That's what you got going here. Total corruption.
Biden assists. His political rival is being prosecuted independently.
I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do, or else to bring in a charge or not bring in a charge. I'm honest.
Wow. Boy, that's the lie of the night right there, y'all. That right there sums it all up. That man just straight came out and said, I'm honest. I got to tell y'all, I'm honest. There you go. I got to tell y'all that because what I say to you, you always have to understand it is the complete opposite. Just like he said, I never talked to my son about his business. Never. Not once. And what you should be looking at is Trump and his children and all their corruption in China and stuff. My son never made any money in China. Not once. I'm honest. That guy just said that. So let me understand. He's never talked to anybody about these cases and stuff. Now, 2 things could be happening there. 1, Joe might not remember anyway. He might not remember. There you go. 2, they might have excluded Joe from those conversations as well. Because we all know Joe's not the mastermind behind this. They could care less whether Joe's impeached all of that stuff. They could care less if Joe knows about what's going on with these prosecutors. Their responsibility is to stop Trump. Yeah, Joe, you don't need to know what we're doing. We're going to handle it. We're going to go ahead and put together the coordination and all this stuff, whoever is under Joe. Yeah, so he might not know anything about this. All right. They just sent him out there to say a couple things here and there and keep it moving. But in reality, he probably does know. He does. He has to know. See, he's really brain dead. He's the full-blown scarecrow. If he is sitting back going, well, wait, why are they all going after Trump again? Well, because he's guilty, Joe. Yeah, wow, he's guilty. Wow, I had no idea. They all know. Joe knows. And yet, here they go out there telling us, I'm honest. Don't know anything.
Now, when you have to insist you're honest, you're lying.
They are the bedrock upon which this case is built. The federal case and the Georgia case.
What?
Every single one of Trump's prosecutions leads directly back to Biden. It's political lawfare, and Biden's the general.
It's the fraud squad.
It is.
Willis and Wade should be prosecuted for racketeering themselves as they gain financially.
Yeah.
It's the boyfriend who has never prosecuted anything before in his life. He met several times and got paid for the meetings with, wait for it, Biden White House advisors.
Oh, my. Wow, you're right. Whoever said that, the boomerang, whoop, 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 whoop. There you go. Right to the forehead. It's crazy how all of these accusations and attempt to stop Trump was like them spitting in the wind. On the freeway. Y'all remember as a kid, your head out the window and making those sounds in the window. And all of a sudden, hey, Tony, watch this, watch this. Right back in the face. So these folks have been getting smacked in the face by their own spit. So now they're up here talking about the fraud squad. And it comes out that they've been meeting with Biden all along. But I'm still shocked that these cases are still going on. That's what I'm shocked about. I'm thinking, what do you do when this stuff comes out? How do you stop this stuff? Like, who's responsible for saying, okay, this right here is malpractice. This right here is direct and blatant interference in an election. This is collusion. The real conspiracy is taking place here. Y'all all said none of this took place. Now we know it did. How about we throw all this garbage out? Every one of these cases should be thrown out. And I have no idea who would be the person who can stop this. I guess it would be the Attorney General. But that guy right there is compromised by the Biden administration as well. You're talking about what? Mayor Garlick? You think he would step in and shut it down? He's the guy that set Jack Smith up illegally. Jack Smith shouldn't even be over this. But nobody is doing anything. It's just like, so what y'all know? Now that y'all know that they all met with the Biden administration, so what? The media ain't going to press us on this. Yeah, Fox might talk about it, but they're racist. It's a racist network. There it is. Yeah, you don't have to listen to them bubbleheads. This is the stuff that makes me mad. And where are the darn Republicans? Yeah, you send your little letters out there. Are we all doing opening up an investigation? We want to know. Governors could stop it. If any of these people are prosecuting Trump in a conservative state, their governors should be all over this. All over it. But hey.
The fraud squad.
Fani was working with Adam Schiff in the January 6th case to build the Georgia prosecution.
What? While he whines that this is a witch hunt, while he whines that this is the deep state, Democrats, radical left coming after him.
All cases against Trump brought after he announced, all cases brought by Democrat prosecutors.
Every time somebody sees me in court, remember, Joe Biden and his thugs that surround him did it.
It's so true. All of the stuff we're showing in between this idiot coming out talking about the fraud squad and Trump complaining and whining to the deep state and the Democrat. All of these clips in between that, I would like to take every word from these clips and shove them straight down his throat. I want this man to eat all of those words. So here he is coming out, the fraud squad.
He whines that this is the deep state, Democrats, radical left coming after him.
This is a scandal that this Nathan Wade, on behalf of Fani Willis, billed for time when he met with the White House twice before Fani Willis indicted President Trump. This shows that there was clear collusion between the Biden White House, not just the Biden Justice Department, the Biden White House.
If these allegations are true, that the meetings with the White House officials actually happened, it would prove some collaboration between the prosecution and Joe Biden's White House.
All right, so now, guys, these clips are put together by TFN, which is Trump Fan Network. Now, the guy who's up here talking about the fraud squad, I don't know where he's from. He might be from TY. I'm not sure, but he's an idiot. Wherever he's from, he's a complete 100% idiot and should be swallowing all of this stuff right here as he talks about Trump's always complaining about this a deep state conspiracy against him. So now we find out that all the things that we all knew are true. And we're probably about to find out some more stuff about Fat Fanny as we go on. Because still, has anybody heard Fat Fanny come out and say, nah, I ain't messing with this dude Nathan. Man, y'all better stop lying on me. Yeah, I got out here talking about I went to Hawaii and all these trips and stuff. I ain't never been there. Well, we got receipts here to show that you were here. There's some pictures on the boat with you sitting next to Nathan eating some lobster. Is that you? You know what? Let me see that. It look kind of like. I don't think that's. I don't think that's me. Has she come out and did that? Nothing. Oh, boy. So let's continue. Yeah, somebody said, yeah, okay, here we go. All right, let's finish. Here we go.
The January 6th committee almost exclusively interviewed Republicans.
What?
They are the bedrock upon which this case is built. The federal case and the Georgia case.
Y'all hear that? See, that's one of their little strategies they like to use, y'all. Let's go find a couple rhinos to interview. Let's go get a couple rhinos to be on our committee. So then this way we could trick the American people into thinking that this isn't a conspiracy. This right here is not just partisan. It's bipartisan. So stop complaining. Look, this was a dang on Trump-appointed judge. This was a person who worked in the Trump. All Republicans aren't real Republicans. So here he is talking about, yeah, y'all, stop whining. They interviewed, the whole case was built on interviewing rhinos.
You remember the January 6th committee that banned Republicans from joining and then destroyed all the evidence they collected?
Go figure. Thank you, Jesse, for clearing that up because I almost got lost in all of the propaganda. He almost had me hooked. There it is. I was about to be like, yeah, what? That doesn't make sense. Why is Trump complaining? I mean, these are all Republicans. Wait a minute. So wait, you're telling me that nobody that was a real Republican was on that committee for J6? And then somehow mysteriously, all of the evidence just disappeared. What type of incompetence is going on with that J6 committee? See, because remember, guys, this was the greatest attack on the homeland. The greatest. You would think they would archive every single word of it. But you know what? This over. Let's go the way out there. And then when it gets subpoenaed, what? Y'all want that? Oh, dang. Hold on for a minute. All right, hold on. Hey, where we put that January 6th stuff right there? You threw it away? Who threw it away then? I don't know. We all threw it away. See, you know how that goes. Unreal.
Just like no one takes Tish James seriously in New York or Alvin Bragg or Jack Smith because they don't look like serious prosecutors. No. They look like who they are, political operatives, Larry.
Thank you. It is so clear. They might as well come out with the executioner mask on. I'm thinking, who you think you fooling, man? You got to be kidding me. All of y'all coming out here talking about that. Nobody's against the law. It's unreal. And I'm going, y'all are very obviously hit people. That's what it is. Nobody out there. We're pursuing the evidence.
She's doing her job. She is defending democracy against an autocratic wannabe tyrant idiot.
I think there is a conspiracy here where the Biden White House is calling the shots in the legal war against Donald Trump. Period.
Period.
It's the fraud squad.
Yes, it is.
He should get damages for how much he's been prosecuted and how many years he's had to pay for lawyers and defending these garbage claims. He should get damages.
Thank you.
Oh, he's talking about Donald Trump. You're banging on about Donald Trump.
Thank you. Yes. And he'll probably continue. And in spite of all of the evidence, all of the new details coming out about these raggedy prosecutions and these prosecutors, he'll continue because he's committed. Whatever his grift is right here on whatever channel he has, that's his grift. He can't abandon it now. All of these liberal progressive YouTubers and networks have invested so much into the lies and the propaganda, whether it be the whole network or an individual who is getting, a surrogate of the Democrats, who is getting some type of kickback and support from the Democrat Party to come out and spew these type of lies, this type of support overwhelmingly for these corrupt politicians that's going after Trump, to where you have apparently compromised just your own awareness of the situation. You're not able to put these clues together and say, no, wait a minute. I went out there supporting Fat Fanny, talking about she was going to save us all from the evil orange man. And come to find out she hired her her lover to do this. And it was, you don't even question that? You up here talking about some Trump said a whole bunch of lies and stuff. And just to give you an example, okay, I'm going to show you a commercial that only confirmed that Trump is right about everything he said about these people. Just like I'm right about what I said about that dude right there with that big head talking about the fraud squad. He has a shite head along with the rest of the fake news. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Aren't y'all glad y'all don't have a shite head? Boy, I tell you, to be walking around thinking you just got a regular head and then only to find out that you are a shite head would bust your bubble. That's why it's hard for a lot of people to go ahead and get rid of the shite-ism, because it's hard to confess that, man, I'm a shite head. Here I am walking around saying Trump was a white nationalist. And I was saying he's a Russian agent. And I was saying he was guilty of 72,000 charges and stuff like that. I was saying that. I was saying he was Hitler and stuff like that. It's hard to make that confession, but some people are. Thank goodness. And I hope many more do. But boy, the media is trying to keep them all walking around with shite for brains. They're working hard, as we saw throughout my show. So thank you all for checking out the show. Don't forget to hit that like button. I knew it was going to be kind of a longer one tonight because, I had all of this material. And I even set aside the stuff I was going to talk about. I was like, after seeing this stuff, the results of the Iowa caucus, I was like, okay. I got to move some stuff to the next day. We'll get to that. Got to talk about this mess that's going on with the Iowa caucus and the reaction that these people are having, along with Fat Fanny and all of that. Hit the like button. Don't forget, text MAGA to 330-974-4607. Somebody said they thought they texted to the wrong number. No, you didn't. It's the right number, it's just, just been very tardy on confirming everybody is in the queue. See, don't worry, I'm gonna get to you. And then other than that, follow me on all the other social media platforms. Subscribe to my alternative channel, Stop and Think About It. And if you want to support the channel through visiting my corner store, the link is below to do that. And then, of course, my fundraiser link is right below this video. So if you want to support my channel, do that. You can. Other than that, man, we about to get out of here, y'all. I think that's about it. Oh, and always check the channel daily for any new uploads that you might not get a notification for, because you know how it is with them. So let's get out of here. The Fraud Squad. Absolutely. That's what they should be named. The Fraud Squad. All city. Yeah. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.